Okay, good morning, everybody.
Morning, sir.
How are you this morning? So, I'm very sorry that last week the internet network at the campus is not good, it's broken, so the video stopped, yeah, suddenly. So we continue the last week's discussion, yeah. So the session is still led by Irfani, and after that continued by Tiffany, yeah. Okay. As usual, before we start our discussion, please you should give the opening comment. Please from Ipani, please.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So today we will continue our discussion, and then for today also we will continue by TV discussion about the employee performance. As I know that employee performance really affect really contributing very important in the company, because that without the performance of our employee, that our company we wouldn't have operational things. So that's why I think it should be an interesting topic that will be discussed on today. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Tiffany, please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. So for today's class, we're going to continue the half of the discussions that will be led by Irfani. And next, we are going to continue the discussions that I will lead. The topic is about employee performance. We will together see how important employee performance is in one organizations, and we can discuss it together one by one.
Okay.
Sir, thank you.
Okay, Adelia, please.
So in today's class, we will reviewing a journal, which is about the presentation today will be led by Irfani and Tiffany, and good luck for both of you. Thank you.
Okay, Vila Shola.
So good morning, everyone. So today's meeting, we will continue our discussion about the Journal of Achievement of Organizational Performance, and which will be led by Irfani. Then we will continue to discuss about the second journal, Employee Performance at Workplace, which will be led by Tiffany. Hope that the discussion can run well and all of us can actively participate in the discussion. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, now the first session is led by Irfani. Please, Irfani.
Okay, thank you, sir. And hello, everyone. Back again with our topic before about the achievement of organizational that last week or last meeting that we've been discussed on the third question, I think. So we will continue on the fourth questions that I should know that from the journal above that could you mention what is a factor that contributes very big and significant to the organizational performance of BPJS of Sarang branch, and please explain the contribution. Okay, should we first from TV? Thank you.
Is it me?
Yes.
Okay. For the first question, based on the results of research and discussions, conclusions can be drawn. Firstly, the result of empirical data analysis of the study proved that job satisfaction is a factor that contributes very big and significant to the organizational performance of BPJS Health of Serang branch. The direct effect and the indirect effect of job satisfaction through the motivation variable has a positive effect on productivity, succeeding in proving the third hypothesis put forward by the researchers. The satisfaction also obtained by employees, including the promotion system, work safety, and the work comfort, as well as satisfaction with the leadership, which is always willing to take the time to help if the employees have difficulty in completing work tasks.
Okay, thank you, TV. Next again, Adel. Adel.
Yes. So number 4, right?
Yes.
So from the journal above, what is the factor that contribute very big and significant to organizational behavior of BPJS Health or of Serang branch, and explain the contribution? So the result of the study from the journal is a proof that the job satisfaction is a factor that contributes very big and significant to organizational performance of BPJS Health of Serang branch. The better job satisfaction of employee of BPJS Health in Serang will increase work motivation, which is also influence or has a positive contribution to employee productivity. That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next again to Tasha.
Yes, so my answer is the contributes for to BPJS is the direct effect on job satisfaction is important through the motivation variable including promotion system, work safety, and work comfort to productivity and to job satisfaction to all the employer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tasha. Next go to Willa.
So if we read this journal, actually there are several factors that contribute to the organizational performance of BPJS Health in Serang. But in my opinion, based on the journal, the factor that give a huge impact on the organizational performance is the job satisfaction. So job satisfaction is considered a determinant of organizational motivation and performance. This assumption is based on the organizational work theory that employees who are satisfied, committed, and have a good motivation and journal adjustment will be better able to work according to the organizational goals and provide the full service to the organization. It can be said that the organizational performance can run well and achieve the target set if the human resources in the organization are satisfied with the work carried out. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Willa. So, as you know, guys, that I attach video links to make sure that you also easier to understand the journal. So that's why I attach a link video that relate to the topic on the journal. So I think you guys already watched the video. So I will ask you guys maybe from the both of video, the first video, what is the topic and what does the video teach you? Okay, maybe start from Adel.
Right, so for the first video, the topic is about organizational performance. It is based on the combined performance of each individual and group. To have high level of performance, the organization must have a high performing individual or groups. Groups are the building blocks or of the organization. The challenge to management is to develop high performing individual and groups. In a sense, individual and groups are the foundation of an organization. It is if either ineffective and the organizational cannot be stand. That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next again, go to Tasha.
Okay, from video 1, this is video about human research and organization like behavior is what people do and say, and HR full behavior to be employers. And this is video say it have 3 levels of behavior. The first is individual, and then group, and then organizational. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tasha. Next again, maybe to Tivini.
The video basically tells us about the organizational performance. Performance level is more meaningful when compared to past performance or the performance of others within and or outside organizations. And to have high levels of performance, the organization must have high-performing individuals and groups. Groups are the building blocks of the organizations. The challenge to management is to develop high-performing individuals and groups. In a sense, individuals and groups are the foundations of an organization. If either is ineffective, the organization cannot stand. Just as people are the foundation of the organizations, behavior and human relations are the foundations of supporting performance. That is for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tivini. Maybe last is Willa.
So the title of this video is Organizational Performance. It explains about the 3 levels of behaviors. There are individual, group, and organization. As individuals and group interact, their collective behavior constitutes to the organization's behavior. Thus, the organizational behavior is the collective behavior of an organization's individual and group. The result of how human relations affect individual and group behavior are organizational performance. So to have a high level of performance, the organizations must have a high-performing individual and group. And the challenge of management is to develop the high-performing individual and groups in the same sense individual in groups are the foundation of an organization. If either of it is ineffective, then the organization cannot stand in a long term. That's my answer, Ivan. Thank you.
Okay, the next video is the second video that we will discuss again, and maybe can we start from Tasha?
For video 1, right, Irvani?
The second video.
Yeah, the second video. Okay, this is video about importance of employer motivation and job satisfaction for organizational performance. This is have a background. One of the background is with a problem, the effect of motivation and job satisfaction. And then this is with the impact with the job satisfaction and job performance. Thank you, Irvani.
Okay, next maybe Willa.
So the second video is about the importance of employee motivation and job satisfaction for organizational performance. So from this video, it can be seen that motivation is an important aspect for every organization and help in creating an environment that can provide the facility and support to employees in order to provide the optimal performance for the company. Because the motivation is one of the important aspects in the organization, the company must pay attention to the employee job satisfaction. Employees who have the high motivation will be more creative and productive. It will be dangerous if there is no job satisfaction in the employees itself because it will reduce their productivity and of course it can give a big impact for the company. Therefore, the organization must understand what aspects that hinder the employees' motivation and understand what the expectation of the employees want. Thank you.
Okay, I will go into the next is Adele, I think.
Oh, yes. So for the second video, it is about importance of employee motivation and job satisfaction for organizational performance. Based on the research of the journal on compensation and benefit policies, it is necessary to take a useful approach to balance remuneration in the form of tangible or non-monetary in order to create job satisfaction for organization. Motivation is also an important aspect for organization in increasing productivity of organizational performance. That's my answer, Irvani. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe last would be Tiffany.
Okay, so in the second video, the speaker explained about the importance of employee motivation and job satisfaction for organizational performance. Employee satisfaction can bring a lot of benefits to organizations. For example, it can reduce task errors, minimize conflicts at work, and increase the business turnover and profitability. Meanwhile, eventually satisfied and motivated employee will contribute to enhanced organizational productivity, which leads to overall company success. Motivated employees serve with a greater sense of responsibility towards company goals and bring a more innovative, lower stress approach to work. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys for the discussion for the achievement of organizational, and I would like to sum up that achievement of organizational is really important to us as in a company, of course, because that when we are want to achieve as our profit is or our goals, that it should be as our organizational goals too, and then as an employees that we should have the same goals, and also we should have some motivation to make sure that our company or our organizational have same sense of belonging and also sense of achievement. Okay, thank you guys. Maybe it will be my sum up for the achievement of organizational discussion, and I will give to Tiffany, I think. to continue the discussion.
Okay, thank you, Irfani. Hello, everyone. Good morning. So for today's discussion, I will lead the second journal, which is the employee performance at workplace. So we will jump into the first question. The first question is the simple question: what is employee performance? Can we start from Willa first?
So in my opinion, employee performance refers to several tasks carried out by the employees which have a direct impact on company's level of success. Companies must review employee performance in order to maintain the employee productivity because it has a significant impact on the company's success. As a result, the company must be able to track each of the employees' performance in order to determine whether or not their productivity in carrying out their responsibility meets its expectation. That's my answer, Tiffany.
Thank you, Willa. Very good answer. So how about Adelia?
So for the first question, what is employee performance? It can be defined as individual work achievement after exerting required effort on the job, which is associated through getting a meaningful work, engaged profile, and then passionate colleagues or employees around. That's my answer.
Thank you, Adele. So Irfani?
Maybe I'm kind of set with Adele that the term of employee performance could be that signifies as individuals' work of achievement that after require for a job which is associated through getting a meaningful work. So it could be engaged profile and also compassionate colleagues or employees around. And the employee performance that as I know that really important in contribution in the achievement of organizational. Thank you.
Thank you, Irfani. So for the last question, for the last person, Tasha.
Okay, for my answer is the employee performance is how a member of or staff fulfills the duties of the role and then have a role and then completes required tasks and then good work in the workplace. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, everyone, for answering the first question. All your answers are correct. So the second question is, why do some organizations perform better than others and get listed as most preferred employer of the year? Can we start first from Adelia?
So for the second question, a systematic work commitment is needed to guide employees to improve and from quality attitudes and behavior that can be produce maximum performance in order to realize the objective. And it also allows an organization to meet its goals and stick to its vision. Without a motivated workforce, an organization could lose all that they have to earn over the years.
Okay, thank you, Adelia. So how about Tasha? What is your answer for the second question?
Okay, my answer for second question is because early findings have suggested for deploying lucrative incentive and then for enhancing employees.
Okay, thank you. So how about Irfani?
What I've got on the journal before that from this journal resource that earlier findings that suggest for deploying lucrative incentives seems for motivating the employees toward meaningful job participation, and also at the same time there is sufficient pragmatic evidence showing that financial offers have a verified effects and may not be much of significance for escalating employee performance. I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Irfani. So how about Willa?
This may be due to the influence of the financial offering that may be give significant in improving employee performance. For example, like the monetary incentive that also mentioned in the journal. If the organization give this incentive that commensurate with the efforts of the employee's performance, it will certainly make the employee productivity increase significantly, which will certainly make the employee performance also increase. This will also affect the organizational performance, which will make them able to become an organization that has a better performance than others and make them get listed as the most favorite company of the year. That's my answer, Tiffany.
Okay, thank you everyone for your answer. And we will jump with the third question. After we already know what employee performance is, now is what is OCB, or organizational citizenship behavior? Does it has any relation to employee performance? Can we start first from Tasha?
Okay, Tiffany. So, OCB, or organizational citizenship behavior, is like a person's voluntary commitment within an organization or company that is not part of his or her contractual task. So this is kind of pro-social behavior demonstrated by individual in work setup. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tasha. How about Willa?
So OCB is the behavior of employees who voluntarily do work that exceeds the standard of tasks assigned to them in order to help the company's sustainability in achieving its goals. I think OCB has a close relationship with the employee performance. Employees with a high level of OCB will very easily obey orders given by the superiors, and in doing their work, they tend to carry out orders sincerely and give their best in doing their job. In this way, it can be concluded that the higher the OCB of the employee, the higher the employee's performance will be. Thank you.
Thank you, Willa. So how about Irfani?
Okay, as I know that OCB, or organizational citizen behavior, could be defined as those extra work-related behavior which go above and beyond the routine that is prescribed by their job description or measure in formal evaluations, and main principle of OCB is used for some period of time and many people do it. And this behavior, it can improve organizational effectiveness, and because OCB plays an important role in, especially in social process of reciprocal actions at organization. And also based on the research that have shown that organizational citizenship behavior is significantly related and to performance in organizations. And when an employee doing OCB, or organizational citizen behavior, voluntarily, even though it's outside of his responsibility, in fact, it will improve his performance, and it could seem that OCB has a significant relationship and affects directly on employee performance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Irfani. So Adelia.
So for the number 3, OCB means a behavior of individual that promote effectiveness in organizational function. OCB accomplishes this effectiveness by providing a positive social or psychological environment in which task work can flourish. And then does is any relation to employee performance? Yes, there's a relation because it can improve organizational effectiveness, and researchers have shown that organizational citizenship behavior is significantly related to performance in organizational. When an employee doing OCB voluntary, even though it is outside of his responsibility, in fact, it will improve his performance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Adelia. All of your answers are correct. OCB is when employee do the extra work voluntarily, and we know that the higher OCB of an employee, it will also the higher the employee performance is, and eventually will affect the organizational performance also. So the first question is mention and explain the hierarchy model of employee performance. Can we start first from Adelia?
There is a task performance, adaptive performance, and contextual performance. And 3 that I mentioned is related to employee performance. So the first step we have to take to examine the available literature and associate with scale of organizational performance, job performance, or employee performance. The developed items were then classified and conceptual grounded into 3 discrete dimension task performance. I use maintain high standard of work, adaptive performance, and the contextual performance. That's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Adele. So how about Willa?
So the hierarchy model of the employee performance is a model that is created by the researchers from this journal. Initially, there are 9 separate components were discovered to be connected with the construction of the employee performance after a review of the available transcript. At the end, they finally categorize employee performance element using conceptual model that were divided into 3 dimensions. They are task performance, adaptive performance, and contextual performance. Discussions with subject matters expert and HR practitioner knowledgeable with performance assessment and management were used to cross-examine this dimension and their associated claims. The goals of this conceptual model are to create the measures that can be used in a variety of workplace settings and are expected to provide the insight for designing the specific organizational policy to improve the employee performance by removing the complex jargon and terms, then define the dimension and underlying statements. Thank you.
Thank you, Willa. So Irfani, what is your answer?
Okay, based on the research that developed items where when we could classify or can group into the 3 distinct dimensions, it is task performance. For example, like I use the maintain high standard of work, and the next is adaptive of performance. For example, it like I used to keep myself updated with new skills and knowledge that help me to quickly adapt to change in my course or jobs. And then next is contextual performance, and I used to guide my new colleagues beyond my job review. And this dimension, along with their corresponding statement, were cross-checked through discussion with subject experts as an HR practitioner who are familiar with performance measurement and management. Since one of our objectives was to develop a measure that can be used in variety of workplace settings, we have tried eliminate jargons and complex terms, defining the dimension and the underlying statement. And the proper or helpful conductive workplace environments bring improvement. And I think that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Irfani. So how about Tasha? What is your answer for the 4th question?
For the 4th question, right, Tiffany?
Yes.
The hierarchy model, right? Okay, my answer is the hierarchy model is first is task performs, and then the second is adaptive performs, and then the last contextual performs. Thank you.
Okay, so the 5th question is how can work environment affect employee performance? Can we start first from Irfani?
Okay, as I know that for this work environment, that as I know that a proper or healthy conductive workplace environment brings improvement to the employees and physical and mental capabilities in performing their daily routine, and improper and unfavorable workplace environment leads to work stress and also cause error being committed by the employees. So that make sure that work environment really have influence or affect to the mood or the situation of our employees.
Okay, thank you. Now we will have Adelia.
Number 5, right? All right, so how can work environment affect employees' performance? Based on the journal, it is proposed that HR manager and organizational behavior practitioner must use insight from the explored factor to create and maintain a better work environment with a proper, helpful, conducive workplace environment brings improvement to the employees' physical and mental capability in performing their daily routine. It also causes error being committed by employee.
Okay, thank you, Adele. So how about Tasha?
So my answer is how can work environment So this is a relation with a proper, helpful, and conducive workplace, and then workplace environment brings improvements to the employees' physical and mental capability in performing their daily routine. So this is improper and unfavorable workplace environment leads to work stress. It is also cause errors being committed by the employees. Thank you.
Thank you, Tasha. So for the last, Willa.
I think the work environment significantly affect the employee performance. Employee performance will increase along with the aspect of the work environment itself. With a good work environment, work will be increasingly supported by a conducive work environment so that the job performance becomes more optimal because it can increase the employee concentration at work, and this condition will certainly lead to the increase of employee productivity accompanied by the increase of the employee performance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Willa. So work environment is positively related to employee performance because it will affect will enhance the productivity of the employee, which will eventually lead the employee performance. Okay, for the last question is what factors that influence employee performance? Can we start first from Irfani?
As I know that there's five factors that affect the employee performance. The first is motivation, the second is leadership, and the next is work environment. Four is functional culture, five is for achievement, and then competence, also compensation. And these factors really affect the employee performance because that each factor really have a important role in the employees to handle their like mood or situation, and also to support the employees in while the perform. I think it is. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Irfani. So how about Adelia?
All right. So for the last question, the factor that influence employees' performance is our organizational system that has developed in the workplace, and then employee engagement, because with the decrease in employee engagement come to decline of work performance. So you should invest in employees engagement effort, and then there's a tool and physical environment, or you can say work environment, and then skill and knowledge of employee and individual attributes. That is my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Adele. So how about Willa?
Okay, actually, there are a lot of factors that can influence the employee performance, but I will like to mention several of it. First is like what motivation that we mentioned before, that we discussed it together. So if employees have a strong determination, they will be motivated to job well, so that the performance that will be produced by one organizational culture. If the employees satisfy and agree with the organizational culture that the company create, then it also can make them have a desire to give a better job result for the company, which means that it can, and that factor that can influence the employee performance is job satisfaction. If employees are happy with their work, employees will have a greater potential in producing better performance. That's all from me, Tiffany. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Willa. So how about the last, Tasha?
Okay, so the factors that influence employees' performance. So the first is workplace environment, and then training and development, and then employee engagement, and then competence, and then recognition, and then workload, and then company culture and morale. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for answering the last questions. All your answers is correct. Employee performance is affected by the internal or external factors. Internal is, I would say that it's come from the employee itself, and then the external is about the company. So that is all for today's discussions for the second journal about employee performance. Thank you everyone for for the engagement and for the participations for today's discussions run well. Thank you, everyone. I will get back to you again, sir. Thank you.
Okay, let me share screen here the first journal, yeah. Okay. Okay, can you read this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this article type is research paper. Yeah, this research is conducted by Samsul Hidayat, Guntur Hadi Suara, Sri Atomi, and Dewi Surani. So in this title, how many variables do you see? How many variables are there in this title? How many variables? Can you how many variables are there in this title? So you can look at this title. How many
Is
variables?
it for sure?
Yeah, four variable. Yeah. So the first is, so what is the dependent variable? What are the dependent variable? Yeah.
Achievement of organizational performance.
Yeah, that independent, and then the independent.
The dependent is job motivation, job satisfaction, and job productivity.
Yeah. So when you research, so you must have the research framework. Yeah. So you can look at the research framework like this. Okay. Okay. How can you read? Can you read this research framework? It's a research framework. Can you read this? This the first is X1 is motivation, and X2 is job satisfaction, and then X3 is productivity, and X and Y is organizational performance. And what is this? What do you call this what do you call this variable? Productivity.
Intervening or mediating variable.
Yeah. So this intervening, yeah. Intervening, intervening or mediating, right? Intervening or mediating, yeah. Yeah, this is the indirect, yeah. It's indirect influence, and then motivation to aggressive performance is direct, yeah, direct influence, and then motivation, and then the motivation to motivation direct, and then motivation to aggressive performance is also direct. Can you read this framework of research? Can you read this? How do you read this framework of research? So how many hypotheses can you create from this framework? How many hypotheses? How many hypotheses? How many hypotheses?
I think so.
How many hypotheses? Okay, please mention what is the first hypothesis? What is the first hypothesis? Hello, can you answer? What is the first hypothesis from this framework? So it means that job satisfaction also influence the motivation. Yeah, you can, or job satisfaction can also have no influence to motivation, right? And so job satisfaction has direct influence or to motivation, right? But and then the second hypothesis, job satisfaction has influence to productivity, right? And then motivation also has influence or direct influence on productivity. Okay, and then motivation has influence on performance, and then justification has also influence on performance, and then productivity has influence on performance. So how many? And then motivation and job satisfaction and productivity have influence on performance. This is the hypothesis. Yeah. So you must be able to read this framework, and then when you must explain each hypothesis. Yeah. And you must and then you must find the preposition supporting your hypothesis, right? The theory of motivation and the theory of job satisfaction, yeah, based on the previous research conducted by the other researchers, right? Okay, so it is very important. So when you want to have good performance, so you must pay attention to job satisfaction and motivation and productivity. Yeah, so from this framework we can know that job satisfaction has direct or indirect influence on organizational performance, and motivation can also have direct or indirect influence on organizational performance. Right? So from this what is the result? What is the result? So it is basing SEM, SEM, So method analysis basing SEM. And what is the result of this? Like this is the result, right? Yeah, the result. What is this? Like this, yeah. So there are six of hypotheses, right? Six hypotheses. It means that motivation has no influence on productivity. Rejected, right? So you hope that your hope is that motivation has influence on productivity, but in fact, motivation has no influence on productivity. So this rejected, right? And job satisfaction has no influence also on motivation, rejected. So your hope is your hope is job satisfaction has influence on motivation, but in fact it's rejected. Yeah. So job satisfaction has no influence. So the accepted is only job satisfaction has influence on productivity, and then job satisfaction has influence on emotional performance. So it's mean that the important variable is job satisfaction. Yeah. Job satisfaction is, so it means that you must pay attention to your people job satisfaction, right? So your people must be satisfied with their job, so they can contribute to your performance, to your performance. Okay, do you understand? Hello. Okay, so this is the result, yeah. So the researchers use SEM in analyzing the data, by survey analysis. Yeah, so we can look at. I think you haven't studied SEM yet. Do you have you ever studied SEM at your campus? SEM. It's SEM, yeah, like SEM. By using Smart PLS, yeah. So there's an application software of Smart PLS, yeah. So we can. This is called formative variable. Formative, yeah. Formative. So, and what does it mean? Like this? This is low. Just low correlation, right? Very low correlation, yeah, very low correlation. This is okay. This is the first journal. So what can you learn from the first journal? What can you learn from the first journal? Okay, what can you learn from the first journal?
I think that I can learn that the role of each of like motivation or job satisfaction that affect the organizational performance.
Yeah. So in the first journal, so the most influential variables is on the satisfaction, yeah. Yeah, yes. It's the most important, yeah. So motivation is not an influence variable, yeah, most variable, because it has no influence on the productivity, on the job performance, yeah. Okay, let me screen the second journal, yeah. It is Tiffany, okay. So we can come to the research framework, like a framework like this. Okay, how can you learn? How this is the research framework, right? This is the research framework. Okay, how many variables are there in this? How many variables? Four, yeah, okay. And can you read this? Can you read this framework research model? Is the research model, yeah? This is called research model. Can you read this research model on your word? Can you read? Who can read? How about Irfani? Can you read, Irfani, the research model?
I don't know is it correct or not, but I think that in the outside of
Yeah.
Like text performance, contextual performance, and adaptive performance. It is affect to the employee performance.
Yeah.
I think those variables like this performance, contextual performance, and adaptive performance could be like control variable. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what is it correct.
Okay. So task performance influence the employee performance. Contextual performance also influence the employee performance. Adaptive performance influence the employee performance, and task performance, context performance, and that together or simultaneous influence the employee performance. Yeah. Okay. And about Tiffany, what can you read? How do you read this model?
First of all, I think that this is the hierarchy model of employee performance,
Yeah.
not the conceptual framework.
Hmm.
But what I would say is that employee performance, there will be there are three that will affect the employee performance, which is the task performance, adaptive performance, and also contextual performance.
Okay. And how do you read? Why? So why is improvement in the middle? Why is employee improvement in the middle? Yeah.
Because all those three will be related to employee performance at the end, sir.
Yeah. And what is the importance of this research, and what is the benefit for the manager? So the research produce the information, yeah, and the information is very beneficial to the managers. What can the managers get from this research? What can the managers get from this research? Because the research always produce information, and the information can give the benefit to the managers, and the managers can use the information to do the next step, yeah, or to yeah.
I think that managers could consider factors that affect to the employee performance.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so like task performance. Yeah. What is task performance? What is the function of task performance? Yeah? Task performance as indicators, right? So all the function. What is that? So you must know the task, the function of task performance, and the function of contextual performance, and the function of adaptive performance. Yeah. So its variable has indicators, right? Maybe it has more than one indicator. Yeah, task performance maybe has ability to do the job, and skill, maybe knowledge. Yeah. Okay. So we must be diligent to read the article of research. Yeah. Yeah. So it's very important, so we can get information, and so the research journal can also be the reference for our thesis. Yeah. So when you write your thesis later, so you must use your article, what you write must refer to the journal research, and then the last is book. Yeah. Okay. Very important. So you must be diligent to read the journal. Yeah. Although I read the article. Yeah. So what you will write. Yeah. And you must look at the research, the previous research. Yeah. To support your result output. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it is the last meeting before Eid Fitri. Yeah. So next week we will have off days because of Idul Fitri. So before we end this course, so I would like to say happy Eid, yeah, for the Muslim people. Yeah. Minal aidin wal faidin, let us forgive one another. So if I have mistake in my teaching, yeah, so please forgive me. Yeah. So if you have time and possibility, I welcome you to come to my house, to visit my house during Idul Fitri. Yeah. So we will meet again on the 12th of May, is that right? After Idul Fitri. Yeah, before we end this course, as usual, you must keep the closing comment, what you get from this discussion. Okay, from Ipani, please.
Irfani, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, sir, and also everyone who already participate in this our discussion today. Also today, we discuss about the motivational, original performance, and also the role of like job satisfaction, also motivation in employee performance, and all of things that I can sum up that a lot of factors that will affect to the employee performance, and also for the manager it's really important to consider and know what is the factor that really contribute or affect to the employee performance, because sometimes we should know this condition and our situation of our employees to boost their performance. I think. Thank you, sir.
Please, Tiffany, please.
Okay, so for these 2 past weeks, we already learned about 2 topics, which is achievement of organizational and also employee performance. We can together see that employee performance is really important in one company, because employee performance will also affect the organizational performance at the end, and it is affected and related to a lot of factors from within the company and also outside the company, and also from the employee itself, the motivation, and about the skills, that knowledge that the employee has. That is all for me, sir. And minal azum wa faizin for every of you who celebrates it. Thank you.
Tasha Alfia.
Yes, sir. So for our discussion, we learn about achievement of organization, and then by Tiffany employee performance at workplace. So this is important and useful with our future. Thank you, sir, and happy Eid Mubarak for my friends, and happy holiday. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Adelia Putiadiko, please.
Yes, so today's class, we are already reviewing 2 journals that has been led by Irpani and Tiffany. It is about achievement, organizational, and then employee performance at workplace. And it can be concluded that with the good work environment, it can makes the job satisfaction of employee and is affected on organizational performance to more effective and efficiently. So thank you, sir, and thank you, everyone.
Okay, good. Wila Sola.
So from today's discussion, I got a lot of new insight. I got to know that job satisfaction can be one of the factors that contribute in organizational performance. And I got to know that there are a lot of aspects that we need to pay attention to in order to make the employee performance increase. It is very important for the company to pay attention to their employee satisfaction and employee performance, because it can significantly affect the organization as a whole. That's all from me. Mina Aizin wa Faizin for my friends Ansar Adi. And happy holiday, guys. Thank you.
Okay, good. You're welcome. So who will lead the discussion for the 3rd journal next 12th of May?
Me, sir.
Okay, Tasha ya?
Wila.
Oh, Wila ya. Okay, Wila. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for your attention and your come here. See you later next 12th of May, yeah? Yeah, so if you have time and opportunity, I welcome you to come to my house if you have time and opportunity. Okay, see you later. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.